Really, girl? See how well this goes. Mm. Let's see. Yep, here we are. I'm live. Sad part is I'm not really gonna be able to see the chat. Okay, I can actually see text. I'm gonna go get another gallon of milk or gallon. I'm gonna get another cup of milk and I'll be right back, you guys. Just out of curiosity, what happens if I just single click it? Will it mute or will it just end stream? Let's check. Nope, can't control mic. Oh well. I'll be right back, you guys. Hey everybody, I am back. Yeah, you're gonna have to see me skip through different pages because I got stream going here. I got OBS running here. This is my thingy. This is my work. So, welcome to the stream. This is my first ever creative writing stream that I'm doing on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Basically, I'm going to be working on a story, and hopefully, if these streams turn out well, I can probably do more of these. Maybe finding some middle ground where I can enjoy live streaming with you guys and show y'all my progress. But I cannot find my gummies. Ow, bunnies. Ow. Found them. Oh, man. So, anyways, this story I'm working on right now, I am naming it Dreamweaver. It is about a guy that goes around. Hang on. It's about a guy that goes around the country, or basically the world, and he goes and saves people that have fallen into a never-ending nightmare. Whenever dreams slink out from the corners of our minds, if they're strong enough, they take over the dreamer and succumb them to a never-ending nightmare. So far, I have 6 pages. The name of the first story is kind of work in progress. So this project file is kind of like beta-ly known as the first case. It's not really his first case. It's like the first case of the story. I guess I should probably just start reading it. I'm sorry. Let me read y'all what I got so far. I have been called by many names. Nightwalker, the Sandman, but I am more famously referred to as the Dreamweaver. The mysterious man walked in the middle of the night, moon gracing him with its light. Wind whipping around him as he pulled out his pack of cigarettes and lighter. Using his mouth, a cigarette slid out as the lighter flicked a few times until it finally started. He leaned in and lit it. He took a long, deep breath, feeling the burning mist fill his lungs as he held it in. Finally, he got into a sense of calm. Hang on. My cat lurked scene. She's on some keyboards over there, and my old keyboard that click 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 click, and she's driving me mad. She drives me fucking mad. Hello. Well, at least y'all can hear me on this part. Guess I can change this. Disconnect. Yes, disconnect. I don't really want to do that. Okay. A lot better. Whoopsies. Okay, so it works. Sorry. I'm just kind of doing something. Sorry about that. He took a long, deep breath, feeling the burning. Not too loud? Or is something too loud? There we go. Part of me feels like that my voice is being overtaken by music. I guess it's fine. Turn down my volume a little bit. There we go. Okay. He took a long, deep breath, feeling the burning mist fill his lungs as he held it in. Finally, after getting the sense of calm, he finally expelled. Or let me just probably remove that. I feel like it's repeating too many words. He expelled the smoke. He has been tasked to keep people safe from their nightmares. People have a dream, something horrifying from the corners of their mind slinks out, and then it turns into a nightmare. When that nightmare gets too powerful, it locks the host in a never-ending dream which they can never wake up from. When that happens, they turn to him. On this particular case, he got called out to a small town out in the middle of nowhere, pure desert as far as the eye can see, with very few flora to speak of. Wind continued to whip around him and pick up some dust from the ground. The environment around the town seemed dead, but the town was thriving, full of buzzy people. Blech. I'm terrible at reading, especially when I'm this tired. As he walked around the city, the moon full and bright, lighting up. Oh wow, just turned dark. Lighting up the busy streets, he finally came across a bar that no one sorry. He finally came across a bar that had no one visiting, except for one man and the lady bartender standing at the counter. There was a bell that rang whenever you opened the door, and some weird music played from the jukebox in the corner. It sounded like a slowed down version of some old song that played from way back when. The man that sat at the bar, his face was covered by a white hood, arms as big as tree trunks, hands that could crush bowling balls. He easily grip the glass mug as if it was a normal door handle. Him lifting up to his mouth, you could barely see glimpses of any facial detail. The man had a big black bushy beard, chugged the drink like a mighty Viking before slamming it back down on the marble counter. The Dreamweaver sat a few seats away from the mysterious man and waved his hands, getting the bartender's attention. The young lady, she looked a few years younger than him. Black hair with green stripes in them. She was she was thin with the same lifeless eyes that she had bleh. She was thin with the same lifeless eyes that she is used to seeing in her normal visitors. Hang on, that part didn't sound too right. Let me think of what I was trying to say here. She was thin with some. That's all I can really think of. Mhm. I'm trying to think of how to word this. Kind of like it's kind of like those eyes that if you look into someone that's done the same work for 50 years, you could see like all the experience and all the stuff they've endured during that 50 years of work, you know? That kind of thing. The young lady, she looked a few years younger than him. Black hair with dark green stripes in them. She was thin with lifeless eyes. Once you looked into them, you could see all the conversation that she had all at once. Hang on. Had during her job. All the conversations that she had in her career all at once. There we go. Hey, hon, welcome to the Dust Bowl. What can I get you? She said in a depressive tone. It felt like all the joy in life had been sucked away from her. Menu in hand, the Dreamweaver started to study it. We don't got many strangers. Bleh, hang on, let me get that voice back. We don't get many strangers come into our town. Not, not really popular. But there we go. Not really popular among tourists. Shame. This place feels alive to me. He replied with a deep, hardened voice that while continued to study the list of drinks and food they had on hand. Bleh. That took a lot of out of my lungs. They had anything from normal beers to exquisite drinks, some that sound like they would cost an arm and a leg. After hearing that, she couldn't help but chuckle. Mighty kind of you to say that. Ain't got not, ain't got nothing out here but blah blah. Ain't got nothing here to see besides miles upon miles of open desert. She remarked. So what brings you here? I am here on a contract. Just one job. Then I'm off to my next job. He replied in a grim expression while setting the laminated paper down. The bartender grabbed her notepad and pen. Careful, you're starting to sound like assassin talking like that. So what can I get for you? The Dreamweaver continued reading the menu like it was some kind of strange puzzle that needed solved. Yeah, that needed solved. He usually drank bright or what? I did not write that. Drank a. There we go. He usually drank a bright drink in the morning like a mimosa, or dark at night like a midnight margarita. There we go. He usually drank a bright drink in the morning like a mimosa, or a dark drink at night like a midnight margarita. But he couldn't find anything that blah, 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 blah. Oh my god, I was reading my own words wrong. But he couldn't find anything like that on the laminated paper. All he could do was sit there and stare. How about I just get you our house special, since you clearly can't make up your mind? She suggested while nabbing the menu off the table. She was getting impatient. There was no there was really no reason why she was. They wasn't busy at all. The Dreamweaver let out a sigh while propping his head onto the table. Sure, whatever. I'll grab a small thing of pretzels too. Guessing man isn't uncommon where you come from either. Please. Mm-hmm. That's more like it. I'll be right back with your things, she replied as she marched off to get his drink ready. So what's your name, sugar? Just call me Gideon, he replied, tapping his pointer nail on the table. The bartender started stirring and shaking up his drink, adding stuff here and there. Gideon, huh? So what kind of contracts do you fulfill? She asked, prying for more information. I'm afraid I can't answer that. It's personal, he replied, refusing to divulge any information regarding his client or what he does in general. His job really isn't. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry. I'm not used to this. His job isn't really what is classified as an actual job recognized by the government. As a matter of fact, the job he does is strictly between him and his clients. The things he does goes beyond what science can explain and solve. He handles what normal humanity can't handle. Go, go into the goes in. Let me put. Hang on, let me do something. He goes into the poor soul's dream and pull the dreamer out of their own nightmare, or help the nightmare, or end the nightmare for good. Hang on a second. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'll be. Yeah, let me read that. He goes into the poor soul's dream and pull the dreamer out of their own nightmare, or help end the nightmare for good. Oh, Cam's on Overwatch. Sweet. Thanks to his brass personality, he would rather put an end to the nightmare once and for all instead of pulling the dreamer back to reality. I'm sorry. I don't need to call the sheriff here now, do I? She said as she sat the drink down. It was a dark purplish drink with a bright pink on the very top, as well as a salted rim. Before she knew it, the man that was sitting a few seats over started hacking cough. Immediately, she rushed over with a handkerchief clutched in her hand, handed it to the veiled giant, slowed down. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry, let me reread that. I'm kind of like, blah. I'm kind of high still, and I just ate a gummy to try and keep the high going, but probably not a good thing for me right now. Immediately she rushed over and handed. Blah, blah, blah. Immediately she rushed over with a handkerchief clutched in her hand, handed it to the veiled giant. Slow down on your drink, you big oaf. They ain't going anywhere. Gideon picked up his glass and inspected it very closely. He noticed there was bits of salt glistening in the drink. They looked like stars in the pre-morning sky, just before the light of the sun comes up. He turned to look at the bartender and the coughing man. Now, damn it, Jerry, you gotta learn to take that. You're gonna have to learn to drink more slowly, she said, handing him the handkerchief as well as a glass of water. The giant man didn't say a word, just simply nodded as he accepted a drink and a piece of cloth. He gulped down the water. Hang on, let me turn my volume. He gulped down the water and wiped his lips down. He suddenly unhutched. Sorry. He suddenly unhunched his back, and some of his hood started falling off, unveiling a small bit of his head. His left eye was completely white. Strange tattoos on the side of his head, depicting suspicious things. Before I can get a good look at them, he quickly veiled his head once more. He put his hand under his cloak and pulled out some money, slamming it down onto the table. All ones and five. Bleh. All ones and fives, all wrinkled up, aside from some loose change. Hang on. Sorry, my dad was getting ready for bed. Let me get a drink. For some reason, I can't get my camera to work. Okay. Let me see if I can't do something here. Video capture file. Let's try it again. Okay, see, it's not doing nothing. See? Nothing. Oh my god, so stupid. Remove. Yes. Let's try a new scene. What happens if I do that? What happens if I do this? Hang on. Hmm. Oh, damn it. Maybe media source. Nope, never mind. Move. I wonder. Let me do this real quick. Hang on. Okay. Mm, Something is just telling me that something is blocking OBS. I think that's it. Oh, shit.